Hello my friends, welcome back to part 3, the final part. We're on the home stretch. This is looking very nice, I think. In part 2 we did all the left side of the painting, the curtain, the couch, the pillows, cushions, if you want to call them, all of that kind of stuff. Now we get to the final part of the video, this lesson. This lovely fireplace you can see here. It's going to be a kind of a dark fire surround with a bright orange blazing fire in the center, and that's going to radiate out across the painting, and we'll add some light here and there as well at the end. So this is the final part. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, thank you so much if you have tuned in and watched part 1 and 2. I know it was a bit of a journey and it took a bit of time, but I like to just take my time every now and again and kind of show you in depth what I'm doing rather than kind of flicking through it quickly. So I hope you've enjoyed part 1 and 2, and I hope I didn't make it too complicated for you. Even if you get a couple of hints and tips from it, then I've done my job. So listen, let's crack on and finish part 3. I'm looking forward to seeing this finish, and I think it'll look very eye-catching. I hope you enjoy part 3. Let's go and have a bit of fun. All right, let's have a go at this. I'm going to start with this lovely kind of a deep purple again on the fireplace. So I'm just going to take a large brush. Now I have the palette on the other side, just to give you a better view of what we're doing. So look, you can see properly. I'm going to mix a nice deep purple again. Magenta, phthalo blue. Okay, plenty of that. Plenty of magenta now in this nice and pinkish, kind of a pinkish purple, okay? And maybe a touch of cadmium red as well, why not? Let's go for a bit of cadmium red. And I'm going to start filling this in with this lovely deep purple. So the purple will be like, let's just call the purple the base coat, okay? I'm going to go around my fire. I'm going to make the fire slightly wider as well. A bit more cadmium red in there. Up here I want to put more of an angle on that. I know it looks fairly straight in the photograph, but I think a little bit more of an angle would be nicer. Give us some more perspective. Yes? And this is quite a watery colour now that I'm using. It's just a very thin layer. That's all I want, is a thin layer. Now a bit more pink. As it comes over, it's a bit more pink. Down like that. It's the front is kind of lit up here, so I may just take a little bit of red here first, look. Like that. Okay, and then I'll go into that purple, maybe a hint of burnt umber as well. Make that nice and dark as it comes towards us. So we have a nice little bit of perspective now, don't we? Okay, now I hope you can see all this okay. Already, this is looking quite nice. I'm going to take some black, and I'm going to pop a little bit of black into this on this side. So we're getting nice, deep, dark, kind of in the shadows sort of a feeling with this. You just drag some black down, we sort of kind of, you know, soften it through. And I will then start doing the brickwork effect on this. Now before I go over here, I just want to clean my brush, and I'm going to go to the smaller little flat brush, all right? Any kind of a flat brush you have will do just fine, absolutely fine. Just, you know, try different things. I'm going to make a nice light purple first, a light mauve for over here, okay? A little bit of magenta, a little bit of blue, a bit of white. And I want to get that nice warm, kind of a mauvey shade over here. Now let me have a look. I think a bit more white, possibly a touch of Naples yellow, just to tone that down ever so slightly. I think that's better. And let's just go along here and cut in front of that window with our lovely fireplace. It goes into a black again down here, so we don't need to worry about down there. Make it a little bit wiggly, it doesn't have to be perfect again. And then we'll soften that through. Again, as it comes in, it gets darker, doesn't it? So a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of magenta perhaps. There we go. You know, a lot of what I'm doing is just sort of softening colours into each other as you go. That's what a lot of it is really, okay? It's that simple, just soften colours into each other as you go along, and you pick up different shades from your palette. A lot of people may find that kind of slightly difficult, but practice, just practice. See, I'm picking up some of this kind of a deep pinky purple, right, with my brush, and I'm bringing it across here, suggesting some of the bricks. That's what it's all about, really, just picking up colours and transferring them from one side to another. And you'll notice what I'm doing here, as I come down the fireplace, the angle of the brush stroke is going like this, and as I go up, it's going like this, okay? That gives you the perspective. You can see what I mean. That gives you the perspective in the fireplace, kind of going off at a distance. I mean, even that now on its own, it looks absolutely fine. But I'm going to take a bit of burnt umber and some magenta, and I'm going to just pop a few of those nice rich browny ones in here. So it's nice and dark in here. I'm just suggesting bricks, just with the corner of my brush, that's all. Very loosely, like this. I put a couple of nice dark ones. As it comes down to the bottom, it gets dark as well, you see. So just like that, pick up another bit of that colour. And you can see now how we're getting all these lovely shades as the colour mixes together. Pick up a bit of black and come down here with some black looking. Make it nice and dark down towards the bottom. And the same along here, nice and dark. So they almost merge together, don't they? And we'll darken that windowsill. Drag it out again. This is just refining certain areas now, that's all I'm doing. I want this area to kind of merge into the background, you see. So that's why I'm doing this. There we go. Now already that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So we've lovely complementary colours. We've the reds and the warmth over here against the cool colours here. You know, that's what I'm trying to kind of get with this painting. Now I am going to just take a little bit of burnt umber and black, right? And I'm going to come up here and just give that a bit of dark just underneath the mantelpiece. Okay, a little bit of dark there first like that. And then I'm going to start adding some warmth from the fire onto the bricks. So let me clean my brush very quickly. I want to make sure I have no blue or black on this brush. Give it a really good clean. I'm going to then take a mix of cadmium yellow. So let me just make sure my brush is lovely and clean now. I'm going to take some cadmium yellow and some red. And a lot more red in this, and even a touch of burnt sienna. Now you could even use red, cadmium red, and just burnt sienna as well. That'll be a nice kind of a base colour for us. And what I want to do is just sort of around the outside of this, I want to just pop, let me get some more red. I want to pop some red into the stonework around the outside of the fire, just to give us that kind of glow coming from the fire. You understand what I mean? And just leave it disappear off and around the fireplace. Okay, you can already begin to see it taking shape. Let's get some burnt sienna now. Pop some burnt sienna in around here and there. Now at the bottom here, I'm going to put a lovely glow, a very rich bright glow. I'm going to start with some of this orangey shade. So cadmium yellow, bit of cadmium red. I'm just going to pop that lovely rich sort of orangey colour in here first. Leave it disappear off to the sides, look, soften it out. Alright, so now we have a start. And then clean the brush very quickly. We go right in and pick up maybe just some cadmium yellow, a tiny touch of cadmium red. So a brighter mix. Now, there we go, we can start adding that to this as well. And as that kind of goes away to the sides, let's just take a bit of cadmium red on its own and pop a little bit of cadmium red, soften it through either side, look, and let that disappear into the dark. Now that's a lovely kind of a glowy effect there, isn't it? It's really nice. The next thing we have to do is this lovely inside. Also, we do have a couple of brights up there as well. So look, I'll pop a couple of brights in just up around there, and I want to pop a little bit of detail actually
for some of these bricks. Some of them are catching the sunlight, some of them aren't. So let's just take a little bit of phthalo blue and a white. Even a bit of pink in there as well. And I just want to sort of catch one or two with this colour. You see what I mean? Just kind of very gently picking out just a few here and there. Because I'll show you what I'm going to do then in a moment. What I'll do is I'll take my fine pointy brush, get some black, lots of very thin black paint, and let's just pop in a couple of little shadows in between some of these bricks, okay? Just to add a little touch of detail into it, that's all. And leave it, again, leave it fizzle away as it comes out. This is really just a little bit of suggestion, you see what I mean? Just these little suggestions can make all the difference. As it comes down, let's just kind of leave that disappear down into the brickwork. So this is the kind of the feeling I'm trying to get, you see what I mean? So we have a bit of detail, but not too much. Now I will just do the very same with some brighter colours. A little bit of white, a bit of blue. And perhaps up around the top of the mantelpiece here, pop a little bit of that across there. And a bit more blue and a bit more white. And just go around and catch some of the highlights in some of these. And you know, this is all just little suggestions of detail, that's all they are. Now, I think that's all right. I don't feel we need to do any more with that. I'm just going to fix this one little piece here. Let me just go over this, just to fix it. Okay, see, you can fix things, you know. It's easy enough to fix little things in oils. The next thing I want to do, my friends, is inside this fireplace. Oh, there was one small thing I meant to do, sorry. Up on the top of the fireplace there, let's just put a little bit of a highlight. Just to catch the eye. Let's go in and do this. Now, I'm using burnt sienna, and a little bit of yellow, and a bit of cadmium red, okay? Yellow, burnt sienna. You could even use just yellow and burnt sienna itself, if you like. I'm going to fill this area in with this colour, all right? Bit more cadmium red as we go in towards the centre. You can see I'm just being very, very loose with all of this. All right, don't try and get too perfect with all of this. It's completely fine. Okay, already we have that lovely rich colour coming through, don't we? Now we'll take some sienna and we'll just start kind of forming the side wall. So this can be the back here. So it can start getting deeper in colour as it goes to the back. Just with sienna, nothing else. And that's the nice thing about oils, is because you can mix everything on the canvas, you see. It's very, very handy for that. Okay, bit of cadmium red, bit of cadmium yellow. And I have to do a suggestion of brickwork at the side of this. Okay, so I'm just going to, with my flat brush, you can use a big one or a small one, I'm just going to kind of flick outwards like this. You see? Now I need to go at a bit of an angle. I'm going to go at a slightly downward angle for all of this. I'll then take some cadmium red and burnt umber. I'm going to, at the back, I'm going to just sort of darken it ever so slightly. How about a bit of magenta? Let's get a bit of magenta. That'll give us a nice deep reddy brown kind of a shade, won't it? Mixing with the orange and everything else. So we can begin to see it's taking a bit of shape, isn't it? Right, clean the brush. Clean out the brush. Let's take our small detailed brush. Get a bit of burnt umber. And I'm just going to kind of quickly suggest the joint where the side meets the back, and maybe just one or two little cracks for these big bricks. Like so, okay? Just very loosely. This is only just kind of quick work now at the moment. You know, I'm not I don't worry too much about little details just yet. I want to do the fire. I'm itching to get at the fire to do that. I will put a nice dark across the front here just to block off that fire from everything else. A little bit of black, bit of red, bit of brown. And let's take a look now. It goes like this, doesn't it? Just comes across like that, yeah? And we'll take a bit of black, put a bit of black in there as well. Okay, that's that piece done. Then we will do the fire. The fire is very easy. I'm just going to simply use a palette knife. Let's grab a palette knife and do this fire with our palette knife. Give us a lovely glow. A nice glow we want. We'll try a small one, yes? Let's go with a nice small palette knife. Let's take some cadmium yellow and a bit of this cadmium red. We can be very free now with all of this. Look, we can do it whichever way we like. Let's just grab some cadmium yellow and start putting in the fire. And just be very, very spontaneous with this. Imagine fire, it just goes where it wants, doesn't it? So look, I'm just putting this around. Just very kind of loosely. Just kind of trying to make it look as if it's actual flames coming out. That's nice now already, isn't it? And in the centre of that then, I'm just going to take a bit of white, just on its own, just to give this that real bright glow. Let's just pop a little bit of white in the centre here and there, look. Just like that. Now, I think that's enough. We don't need to go crazy with this. Look, sometimes less is more. We have some little bricks and blocks and all that kind of thing in here now, don't we? Let's pop one or two of those in. Bit of burnt sienna, perhaps. Bit of burnt umber. We've one there. And we can have another one poking out here, like that, okay? We can have another one. We have kind of two, one on top of each other here, don't we? So let's just put those in like this. Very, very loosely, very quickly, okay? And maybe another small bit down the bottom, poking out as well. Take a little bit of black, a little bit of black in there. And then let's pop a little bit of light on those. Okay, a small bit of highlight. Let's get a bit of yellow, maybe a bit of white. And just go like this. I think that's just enough, isn't it? Small little piece, I think, is all you need. Sometimes less is more in painting. The smallest little bit goes very far. Now I'm just going to take a bit of red, a bit of cadmium yellow. I'm going to pop a little bit of that colour just along the front here. And we have that kind of grill going across the front, don't we? And it's very dark. It's black, but I'm going to add a little bit of brown into this. First of all, I'm going to soften that out into the rest of the fireplace because it looks like it's just all one piece, doesn't it? Let's go like this. Make it a little bit wiggly. Then, let's put a couple of these bars coming down the front. And you see now how simple I made all of this. I didn't go into huge detail with it. But it works, doesn't it? It just works. We need now to just go and put a front on the fireplace here. So again, let's try a bit of black down on this side first. And soften it in, because again, I want it to look like it's disappearing into the depths. I make a bit of mauve for this side here. I'm just going to cut under that first, get a nice clean line. Get a nice dark mauve, bring it across. Like so. Then I'm going to make a nice rich purple. Very gently go over that. Now we have the front of our fireplace, but I want to darken this into the floor. I want everything to merge together to make one kind of a dark mass. So I'm going to take more purple, okay? A bit of blue and a bit of magenta. And I'm going to just go over this very lightly with some blue magenta, and I just want to darken all of this down. Okay? Take a bit of burnt umber, pop some burnt umber in there, make it nice and dark. The idea, again, as you can see, is to make a very dark, moody kind of a painting. So I'm just going to soften all these together very gently, look. And as it comes up, I'm just going to very gently soften it upwards onto that wall and leave it feather away, just feather the brush, leave it disappear nice and gently, look. And then we have a nice dark floor, don't we? You can soften it all together. Go with some burnt umber and black down here, just to deepen that even more. Now, how was that? I am quite happy with that. I think that's turned out very, very nice. We want to kind of bring that colour across, don't we? As I was saying in part 2, I want to bring the kind of the glow from the fire over the painting. Now, I also want to brighten in around there as well, just slightly. So look, a little bit of cadmium yellow on the brush and just hit those little spots like that. Okay, that gives you a little bit of light as well. And just over around here, I want to just bring a very deep orange onto the chair. Now, I have mixed a tiny bit of orange. Let's try this. Let's try it just around here, for example. Look, a little bit of a deep orange. Just to give you the impression that the colour of the fire is hitting the chair and the cushions and all of that. You see, just a touch, just a little touch. And we can come up here, we can maybe add a little bit of it there. Just be careful not to overdo this. Just a touch. A little bit of red, I think, onto this one here. Now that's, I think, enough. Again, I don't want to overemphasize this. Maybe up on the picture frame we could put a little bit of that colour. I think that would be nice up there as well. So perhaps just a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, and just kiss the picture frame ever so gently. Just keep going until you feel you have enough. Pop a little bit of that, and we could take another bit of yellow, I suppose. Just a hint. I'm fairly happy with this. I am, I'm quite happy. I think it's turned out much nicer than I was expecting it to turn out, I'll be honest. I was a little apprehensive at the beginning, but then, as you can see, if you just keep things simple and just go for basic shapes rather than, trying to make everything look like a photograph, I think if you just use basic shapes, it's just much easier, isn't it? It seems to just work a lot better. I'm going to just take a little bit of bright orange and pop it on the timber in here. And also, along the top of the bar here, I might put a nice rich bright highlight. Take a bit of white and a bit of yellow. And even at the backs of these, look, we can pop a little bit down here as well. I think that would just help, wouldn't it? Just give it that little bit of detail. And also, we could put some of that on top of this one down here. Again, that's just an extra little detail I think would make a difference. And lastly, I'm just going to brighten the fireplace hearth here just a little bit more. Just a tiny bit more. And I think we're done then, my friends. I think we'll call this finished because, again, we don't want to overdo it, do we? We don't want to go crazy and mess up what we have. So I'm just being careful. Maybe finally, just a little bit of yellow. Accentuate that fire glow coming out. That's better. Now we're talking. And I think that's it, my friends. I think we are done and dusted with this painting. And there we go. One lovely painting finished. Now let me move the camera back a bit so you can see myself as well. There we go. I think that's turned out very nice for my final painting of 2025. That is very nice, isn't it? That looks really nice, I have to say. I think a frame on this will look absolutely stunning. I would just like to say thank you so much for tuning in and joining me and subscribing and being a member of my channel. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute privilege and an honour to paint for you for 2025. I will look forward to seeing you in the new year. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas and a fantastic new year. And let's keep it going. We're learning a lot. I've learned a lot even in this painting myself, I'll be honest. The lighting is too bright in here. I need to buy new lights after Christmas. Proper lighting is essential, I think, for painting, isn't it? These are just a little bit too bright. They're LEDs, they're very white. But anyway, enough of that. Have fun, my friends. I hope you get lots of lovely gifts for Christmas. Paints and canvas, brushes perhaps. I will see you in the new year. Thank you and God bless. Take care, and I'll see you very soon.